So before we start, let's look first at our topology. So in this topology, we have two PCs with their own IP addresses, but in reality, keep in mind that these PCs are just routers, but I made them act like a switch. So let's verify the initial configurations. So PC1 has an IP address of 192.168.1.1. For PC2, it has an IP address of 192.168.1.2. And lastly, we have a switch with no configurations. So what is a VLAN? In its simplest form, think of a VLAN as just colors that are painted in an interface of the switch. In our switch, we have two interfaces connected to PC1 and PC2. Those are Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02. So let's try to add colors in each port. So let's try to add red here, and let's try to add salmon here. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that if they have the same color, it means they have connectivity in layer 2. But if they don't have the same color, it means that it doesn't have connectivity at layer 2. Let's have an example. In this example, PC1 is trying to connect to PC2. Let's add the color red for both Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02. So how will the colors turn out? So when PC1 wants to send data to PC2, switch 1 will receive it, and it will in turn add a color red to it. The switch will then ask itself what interfaces have the same color, and it will then send out the data out to that interface. The switch then strips the data, making its way to PC2. So like what we've learned earlier, having the same color will give us a layer 2 connectivity. So what if Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 don't have the same color? Let's give Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 different colors and see what happens. For Ethernet 01, let's add a color red, and Ethernet 02, let's add a color blue. So when PC1 sends data to PC2, switch 1 will receive it, and it will add the color red to it. So from black, it will turn to red. And then switch 2 will then ask itself what interfaces have the same color. But in this case, because Ethernet 02 don't have the same color, the data will not be sent out to that interface. In turn, it will be dropped, and PC1 won't be able to reach PC2. So again, like what we learned earlier, because both interfaces have different colors, in this case, PC1 and PC2 won't have reachability. So let's get our hands dirty and let's configure a switch. So by default, every port of a switch is in one VLAN. So let's verify that with the command show VLAN brief. So in the switch, let's go enable and type show VLAN brief. So as we can see, Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 are on the same VLAN, meaning PC1 and PC2 will have connectivity. To test that connectivity, let's do a ping test from PC1 to PC2 and from PC2 to PC1. So from PC1, let's ping 192.168.1.2. It's successful. And from PC2, let's ping 192.168.1.1. So as we saw in our previous example, because Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 are in the same VLAN, PC1 has this connectivity to PC2, and likewise PC2 has this connectivity to PC1. So when working or dealing with VLANs, the first thing we need to do is to create a VLAN. So how can we create a VLAN? So it's very easy. So let's create VLAN 100 and VLAN 200. So from the switch, let's type enable, configure terminal. Let's create VLAN 100. From there, you can add the name. So let's add a name, VLAN underscore 100. Let's exit. So create VLAN 200, VLAN 200, name VLAN 200. The name is just an optional value. You can add it or you don't have to add it if you want to. So from there, let's try to verify that. So exit, exit. So to verify that, we can issue the command show VLAN brief. So as you can see, we have two additional VLANs, VLAN 100 and VLAN 200. These are the VLANs and the names. So in here, we can see what ports are in what VLAN. So right now, we don't have any port associated with any VLAN. So again, Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 are in VLAN 1. So let's try to put Ethernet 01 to VLAN 100 and Ethernet 02 in VLAN 100 as well. So let's try that. So how can we do that? So from the switch, let's go to enable, configure terminal, configuration terminal. Let's go inside the interface. So interface, let's do this one first. Interface Ethernet 01. Let's try switch port mode access. It means that it will only contain one VLAN. And then let's try to add what VLAN. So switch port mode access VLAN 100. So switch port mode access means it will only contain one VLAN. Switch port access VLAN 100 means that what VLANs are in that interface. So exit out, and again, let's try to verify that. Show VLAN brief. As you can see right now, VLAN 100 is associated with Ethernet 01. So let's do Ethernet 02 as well. So configuration terminal, interface Ethernet 02, and again, switch port mode access, and switch port access what VLAN? VLAN 200. So let's try to verify those. So show VLAN brief. So as you can see, we had it wrong on a wrong VLAN. So let's try to correct that. So Ethernet 02, switch port access what VLAN? VLAN 100. So exit and exit out. So let's try to verify if everything is right. Show VLAN brief. So as you can see, both Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 are in VLAN 100. Likewise, both Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 are gone in VLAN 1. It means that they are only associated to VLAN 100 now. So because they are in the same VLAN as what we've discussed earlier, let's try to have connectivity test. Ping. Let's wait for a minute. So, and PC2. Okay, success. It is successful. Why? It is because they're on the same VLAN. So what if we put Ethernet 02 on different VLAN? So let's try to put it on VLAN 200 this time. So let's try to do that. So configuration terminal. So in Ethernet 02, let's issue the no command. So no switch port access what VLAN earlier 100. This means that it will negate what we configured earlier. So enter. So let's verify that. Show VLAN brief. So as you can see, VLAN's Ethernet 02 is no longer a port of VLAN 100. So let's try to put Ethernet 02 in VLAN 200. Configure terminal, interface Ethernet 02, switch port access VLAN 200. What VLAN? So let's try to exit out. Show VLAN brief. So as you can see right now, Ethernet 01 and Ethernet 02 are on different VLANs. So it means that PC1 won't be able to reach PC2 right now. So as you can see, ... means that it doesn't have connectivity at layer 2. So another good verification tip is that we can issue this command, show interface, what interface, Ethernet 01, and add the command switch port. So in here, you can check whether this one, wait a minute please. Okay, here we go. We can check what access mode is it in. So it says here that Ethernet 01 is in access mode VLAN 100. So likewise, if we do that, so show run, show interface Ethernet 02 switch port. So let's try that. So as you can see, so Ethernet 02 is on access mode VLAN 200. So if you want to check your configurations, we can do this one. We can issue this command, show run interface Ethernet 01. As you can see, it's very important to add this one, switch port mode access, in order to tell it that it only accepts one VLAN. So switch port mode access and switch port mode VLAN 100. So likewise for Ethernet 02, show interface 02. So switch port access VLAN 100 and switch port mode access. So what are the possible things that we may encounter in this one? What are the problems? So if we add two interfaces on different VLANs, it means it won't have connectivity. So we always need to check if it's on the same VLAN. So what command to check? The easiest command would be show VLAN brief. So with this command, we can check whether it is on the same VLAN or not. So that's the end of this lesson. So I hope you enjoy and you learned a lot. So goodbye and God bless you.